Both of the young men that you saw in that video lives were forever changed. One is no longer breathing and the other is facing 40 years in prison. And in order to understand why, we must first start at the beginning. Caleb Wilson, 20, attended Southern University. He was studying to be a mechanical engineer. He was also a part of the marching band. And he wanted to become a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity, a Black Greek organization that states in its mission statement that they want to unite college men who share high ideals of scholarship and manhood. The fraternity also aims to help members achieve their goals and support the community. This mission statement goal says, promote ideals, encourage members to achieve their goals and ambition, support the community, help the community achieve high social, economic, and intellectual status, participate in civic life, take a constructive role in the community's political life, foster brotherhood, promote brotherly love and fraternity spirit, protect the home, protect the sanctity of the home and the chastity of women, fraternity values, manhood, be a man of character, courage, bravery, and resolve. Scholarship. Be informed and achieve or exceed the fraternity's minimal educational requirement. Perseverance. Exhibit a spirit of brotherhood, cooperation, and a willingness to go the extra mile. Uplift. Share gifts with the community through aid, activism, and leadership. And their brotherhood was completely tested and they failed. Initial autopsy results are in a 20-year-old Southern University student who was reportedly taking part in a fraternity ritual off campus when he collapsed and later died. Member of the Omega Psi Phi fraternity were reportedly carrying out a ritual where pledges stand in line, and when the students collapsed, Wilson was unresponsive when a group of friends brought him to Baton Rouge General Hospital, Blue Bonnet Boulevard, early Thursday morning, February 27th. The group had been at North Sherwood Foster Community Park prior to being brought to the hospital. Investigators said hospital staff pronounced the student dead and called Baton Rouge police at 3:15 a.m., triggering a death investigation. That was actually a lie, and it was an unsanctioned ritual. He actually got punched in his chest in a warehouse, and before they took him to the hospital or called to get any type of aid, they had to come up with a story. According to the warrant, witness told police that pledges of the Omega Psi Phi fraternity arrived at a warehouse in Baton Rouge area and changed into gray sweatpants. The pledges were then lined up and were punched 4 times each by people wearing boxing gloves, the warrant states. At least 3 people were involved in punching pledges at the front of the line, according to the warrant. Witnesses told police that one person, Caleb McCrae, punched pledges at the back of the line, including Wilson. According to the warrant, McCrae punched Wilson 4 times in the chest before Wilson suffered a medical episode and fell to the floor. The pledges were moved to a separate room while leaders attended to Wilson, the warrant states. According to the warrant, Wilson's clothing was changed before he was taken to the hospital. Now, you have to pay to be a part of these fraternities and sororities. I understand that there are certain rituals and things that they do to make you join, but there's a certain part where enough becomes enough. Not always you drinking, it's not always you getting punched in your chest. It can also be sexual things that they up in there having you doing. And no, it's not sanctioned, but people that are a part of the organization knows exactly what's going on within the organization. If you're claiming to stand for something and you want to be this bright light in the community, then you need to really manage the people that's getting in and the type of attitudes that they have. Because I'm going to keep it a buck with you. This is no different than gangs. When you do gang initiations, one of the things that can occur is they jump you in. And it could be other initiations that they have you do if you want to be a part of it. If it's something that's going to cause you physical harm, if it's something that makes you go against what you believe just to be a part of a crew, you don't need to be a part of it. This young man was studying to be a mechanical engineer. He was loved by his college community. You have so many people out there right now saying amazing things about this young man. And his life was sadly taken because of a ritual. And the only thing that they can say to you is, I'm sorry. And sorry is not enough. Not only did they punch this young man in his chest to the fact that he started seizing, they didn't seek medical care immediately so they can help him. You say these pledges where you're talking about courage and bravery, and the only thing that you showed is that you're a coward. It really ticked me off. It's cowardice what they did. And not one of y'all had enough balls to stand up and say, hey, we gotta take him to the hospital. Not after y'all came up with a story. Not after y'all watched him take his last breath or shake on the ground. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, nah. Chief Police Thomas Morris Jr. noted in a news conference Friday morning that several minutes had passed before Wilson was taken to get medical attention, and at no point did anyone present at the warehouse attempt to call the ambulance. 7 minutes. Crucial time. Yes, we're dealing with what ifs, but I would feel a lot better if somebody would have acted immediately. According to the warrant, the man who brought Wilson to the hospital told the police Wilson had collapsed after being struck in the chest while playing basketball. Police were able to uncover that the incident had actually happened at the warehouse and later found a pair of black boxing gloves inside of the building. The warrant was filed. The arrest of McCray, who has been booked East Baton Rouge Parish Prison of counts of criminal hazing and manslaughter. According to Morris, 2 other people are expected to face charges Friday. Morris added that it is still early in the investigation, so more charges could be pending as additional information is learned. It's one thing for them to have made a mistake, but their mistake was compounded by them trying to cover up murder. And that's what it boils down to. It baffles me, and it really hurts my heart that they did that to that young man. Because at the end of the day, when you have people that want to join these Divine Nine black sororities and fraternities, they're joining because they believe in what these organizations stand for. Because these fraternities and sororities, at its core, it's really supposed to be something special. Because not only are they giving back to their community in a good way, helping each other get ahead and looking out for one another. They've done some great things like the AKAs. They just opened black-owned, women-led banks, okay? So they have a lot of connections, and a lot of people join because of that. But when it comes to you becoming a member, it boils down to what are you willing to do and what price are you willing to pay. We know what Caleb Wilson was willing to do. We know that he was willing to stand in line, and as crazy as it sounds, get punched in his chest 4 times just to be a part of the Omega Psi Phi fraternity. But he didn't know what it would cost him, and that's his life. But the reality is he shouldn't have had to do it. You shouldn't have to let someone harm you physically, violate your boundaries just to show that you're down. Because if that's what it costs, you don't need to be a part of it. Be okay with standing on your own 2 feet. And know that whatever career path you're chasing, if it's meant for you, it's for you. It's already done. Time just has to catch up to it. When you join these organizations and they have these principles that they're talking about bravery. You was brave before you even got there. They talk about courage. You were courageous before you even got there. You probably didn't even know it. And the Divine Nine isn't the only one that does this. This is just a part of Greek life and fraternities in general, across the board. White, black, Puerto Rican, Asian. It's ridiculous. And it should be stopped, and something should seriously be done about it. Because although Caleb McCray is rightfully facing consequences for his actions, there's many Caleb McCrays out there in fraternities right now that haven't faced the consequences for their actions. This young man was arrested. He was booked East Baton Rouge Parish Prison for counts of criminal hazing and manslaughter. He was later on released on $75,000 bond. This is him leaving. Don't be scared now, bro. Be tough. Look at that. I could already see, bro. They gonna love you in there. As of today, March 10th, a second person has been arrested and a third should be turning themselves in.
McCray, Smith, and Thurman led the hazing ritual that night at this warehouse leased by Smith's father. Each had a specific number of pledges lined up to punch in the chest 4 times. Witnesses say McCray was the one who punched Caleb Wilson, causing him to collapse and become unresponsive. The group went to check on Caleb, made the decision to change him out of his clothes and bring him to the hospital 10 to 15 minutes after he collapsed. At no point did anyone call 911. To arrest
authorities state that up to 10 people could face charges, and I'm happy for them. This is a bought lesson. I hope the book is thrown at them. And I know some of y'all say, Amanda, you're being harsh. These are young black men. It's going to ruin their life. I'm all for black empowerment. I get a certain type of joy when I see successful black people. I love seeing it. But when you make a decision like this, you have to face the consequences. And I'm for them getting the consequences that they deserve, because what they did wasn't right. And they don't need anybody making excuses for them. They were wrong, dead wrong. And it shows what type of character they actually have. And I firmly believe that if an investigation wasn't done, these individuals were prepared to keep this as a secret. I mean, they was about to be on their outcast forever, forever, ever, forever, ever. We all make mistakes. We all do. But how you respond to a mistake is what's important. That is what separates them being innocent young men that simply made a mistake to them being murderous villains that took their brother's life. See, he's playing How Great is Our God. You are worthy. As always, remember that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and stay blessed.